Welcome everyone, Karen here, and it is lunchtime. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to put together my lunch so you can kind of get an idea of what I eat. Not all the time, but I am getting low on stuff to choose from, what it is I want to have, and really kind of just trying to keep it simple, right? Because I'm just always busy, and it's nice when you can just have something that you can put together and you know that it's good for you. It's nutritious and it's good for you. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So I have a bowl here, and I am going to measure out 1 cup of broccoli. I should have brought my scissors over here. Maybe we can make this happen. And when you measure things out, it's so much easier for you to calculate what you're having, right? So if we push that all right there, and you want to kind of get a really good idea. So 1 cup of broccoli. So we have that. Okay. And I'm going to, this was frozen broccoli, but my husband brought it home and he didn't put it in the freezer. He put it in the refrigerator. So I guess it was meant for me to have for lunch today, because otherwise it's going to be soggy mess. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stick this in the microwave. I'm going to rinse out my measuring cup so we can measure something else. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put this in the microwave. Let's see, we're going to do let's do 3 minutes, because I don't like my broccoli really chewy. I like it a little bit on the soft side. Okay, so we're done with that. And then when that comes out, I'm going to grab a knife. When that comes out, we're going to put on 1/4 of a avocado, so you got some healthy fat. You don't want to eat, you can eat avocado, but it's just high in calories. So you want to, have 1/4 or a half. Eating the whole thing is okay if you're not like eating a lot of other fat or a lot of other calories. But it is a good fat, so it's healthy for you. So I'm going to get a knife so we can cut this. It's fairly soft. I had it sitting in the windowsill because when my husband first brought it home, it was hard as a rock. Go ahead and, I shouldn't have took the whole thing off. So we're just going to cut 1/4. I'll take this other 1/4 and I'm going to stick it right back in there. And I'm going to get some paper and we're going to wrap that. We're going to slice this. So we're going to put that on the side of our broccoli. So let me get a paper for that. I love these little tissue papers. I am allergic to a lot of different plastics and things, and this just is really nice to be able to just pull these out and to be able to wrap up your food. I got them at Gordon's Food Service. Okay, so and that's what we're going to use for our broccoli. That'll be coming out shortly. So we're going to just kind of set that to the side over here. Okay, and then next we have a clean measure here. And so what I'm going to do is, I'm all out of yogurt. So my husband bought this, when he goes shopping, he always gets the wrong stuff. I'm just going to tell on him right now. But he bought this low-fat classic cottage cheese. But for me, it's really high in salt. Really high in sodium. So what we're going to do, so if you would have, let's say, a 1/2 cup of this, it'd be 80 calories and 340 milligrams of sodium, which is too much for me. So what we're going to do is we're going to have 1 tablespoon of this for the flavor. Let's see here. And a pretty good tablespoon, you know, not real. Doesn't have to be real perfect, but a little bit heaping, not real heaping, but a little tiny bit. Okay, so we're going to have that 1 tablespoon of cottage cheese. Okay, and then we're going to, this is how you can save on your calories. And then I'm going to have, I'm going to put in a 1/4 cup of plain water with this. And then I'm also going to give it some creaminess with some cashew milk. And I'm going to put in about 2 tablespoons. 1, 2. So 2 tablespoons. And then we're just going to kind of blend this around. Kind of smashing the cottage cheese up a little. Pretty good. You could put it in a little whipper, a little blender if you'd like. I'm not going to take the time to do it today, but you could do that. Okay, find the lid for this before I spill it. All right, and then what we're going to put in with this, we're going to make like a good little dessert type thing. Since we don't have my yogurt, I usually have yogurt and a little bit of fruit, but we are not today because we don't have it. So this is sugar-free Jell-O. You guys are all probably familiar with that. Make sure that it says sugar-free because you don't want all that high sugar. But sugar is sugar, but still you want to back off on the white refined sugar. So if you had a 1/4 of this package, it would be 10 calories. Let's see. Which would make a 1/2 cup, okay? So we are going to go ahead and we've got a teaspoon here. And we're going to have a teaspoon of this Jell-O. We're going to measure this out. Pretty good teaspoon. Okay. And we're going to put that in there. We're going to stir it, stir it, stir it. We'll probably stir in a lot better if it were warm, but we don't want warm cottage cheese. Kind of gross, right? But it'll stir up. Just keep working it. Stir pretty good. Okay, and then I'm going to get the broccoli out of the microwave. We're going to stick this in the freezer, and then we're going to cut some fruit and get some fruit ready for this for when it comes out, and we're going to finish our broccoli bowl. So I'll be right back. If I can find a spot in this freezer, it is jam-packed. Okay, we're going to do that. Sorry. I'm also going to wash off some little cherry tomatoes to the side. Our broccoli. Okay, let's get our broccoli. It looks delicious. Let's just see if it's perfect. It's soft enough. It's nice. Okay, so we have our bowl of broccoli. All right, and then we're going to add our avocado on the side. You have kind of like a broccoli bowl, right? And then, let me rinse my hand. This stuff is a little messy, but so delicious and good for you. Okay, now we have some little cherry tomatoes, and I like to just kind of quarter them. And then we're going to put those on the other side of our broccoli. Okay. Beautiful. All right. Now we're going to dry off my measuring spoon. We're going to have 1 teaspoon of Parmesan cheese. And this makes the flavor so good, so yummy, you will be impressed. And that is what we're going to have for our vegetable bowl. How does that look? It all fell apart now, but delicious. So we're going to be having that for our lunch. And then we're going to get ready our fruit. So this is a half of an orange. I had the other half yesterday. And I'm only going to have a quarter. So one thing about dieting is to watch your fruit intake sparingly. You know, use your fruits sparingly because they are a little bit higher in calorie. And when you have a lot of belly fat stems from too much sugar in your diet. So if you back off on what's causing it, you can lose it. Okay, now I'm just going to kind of quarter these. My mouth is small. I don't want to get like a whole big one piece of that. Okay, that. And then we're going to take about 5. 5 is my favorite number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blueberry. 1 for good measure. And we're going to rinse those off. And then that's what we will be putting in the little fruit bowl that I made. And that comes out of the freezer. We'll be putting our fruit on top. And that's going to be delicious. And probably isn't ready yet, but it should be soon. I'm going to put some of this stuff back in the fridge and talk to you a minute. And then we're going to grab that fruit bowl and we're going to see if we can top it with this fruit. All right, I'll be right back. Okay. What else do we have to put away? We have to put away this and this. Oh, let me get that one. The blueberries and the milk. Okay. We're getting there. See, it takes hardly no time. Yes, you have to pull things out that you want to eat, but at least it's things that are good for you. So, I'm just going to talk to you a minute. Put this stuff away. Let's get rid of the garbage, the dirty dishes. This just had water. That's still okay. Alrighty. So when you are counting your calories, when you are trying to diet, you know, sometimes you want to have a little bit of protein powder. So there's a couple of different protein powders out there that I can have that doesn't have the sunflower and the cottonseed in it. But anyway, what I like to do is I save the containers and I take off the label and I wash them up real nice. And I use these for different things. Then I'll put a new label on it. Like if I want to store a different type of flour, like I just bought some almond flour. If I want to store almond flour in here, or if I want to store nuts, because I buy a lot of nuts, like almonds and cashews especially. I will store those in here. But whatever it is you want to store, that way, you know, if you ever have ants, or you ever have any kind of like you know, rodent or whatever in your home or whatever, it stays nice and safe. And another thing is when you put it in something like this, for me anyway, at my home, if you put it in something like this and you label it and you kind of stick it in your own little stash area. I have my own little stash area. My guys don't go and get it. So if you wanted to even put your own sugar-free treats in here, or if you wanted to put your own you know, little stash of something, and they won't know where to go and get it, right? So it's kind of like a little hiding spot too. So it works out great for me. So I wanted to share that tip with you. So we're going to go ahead and grab this Jell-O, and we're going to put this fruit on top, and we're going to see what happens. Where are you? Still really, really liquidy. So we're going to leave it. We're going to wait on it. So I'm going to go ahead and just stop the film because it's going to take a little bit longer than that. So anyway, I wanted to get a little bit thick, and then I'm going to put this fruit on there, wipe my board up, but I can go ahead and have my little bit of broccoli and goodness there, and then go ahead and then have this later. So now I'm going to go ahead and write everything down so I know where I stand, right? So I'm having some good, the only thing that I'm not really having is a real high protein right now. But I can do that at dinner time, and that's fine. Or I could even see how many calories this is going to be, and then I can have like some little quarter cup of almonds or something like that. And that would help me out a lot, you know. And so I could do that. And or you could have some sort of a low sodium tuna, or a piece of fish. You know, you could do something like that, but you could also get some protein from something else. Now, if I will get some protein from the cottage cheese and the cashew milk, so I'll still get a little bit of protein. And so, you know, but when I have my yogurt, I know that I'm getting that protein, you know, because usually I have the yogurt at lunchtime almost every day. And I know I'm getting that little bit of protein there. So anyway, so hopefully this helps you to start thinking about what you're eating, you know, start putting together food that you don't want to over consume, right? You want to be able to consume your food in a manner where you are coherent, and you're in reality. You're not asleep at the wheel, to say. You are really aware of what it is you're taking in. So sometimes, you know, our environment, of course, can play a huge factor in what it is we're consuming. Because if our partner wants to, like my partner, wants to like eat out all the time and wants all these big meals and all that, well, I had to just cut it, you know. I had to like, hey, if you want to run your life and do that your way, you do that. You bring home your own food. You do that. I can't do that anymore, and I'm doing my own thing, okay? So that's how it had to work for me, you know. So sometimes we always can't stay in the same routine that we're used to being in to appease everyone else around us, right? To cook for this person and to do this for that person and do, and then forget about yourself, right? And I was doing a lot of that. I still do a lot of that. But I have to put myself aside and say, hey, look, you know, this is what's good for my health. I'm doing this for my health and my longevity, right? And you have to just set yourself aside from that. And be firm with the people you're talking to. Like, hey, man, you can do that. I cannot do that, okay? You go ahead and you buy out pizza tonight. You go ahead and you consume all this other salty food and do whatever you want to do, how you want to run your life. But I can't do it anymore. So you have to somewhere draw the line for yourself. Stand up for yourself and say, look, I'm doing things my way now, right? Because your way wasn't working for me. Maybe it's working for you. That's fine and dandy, but it wasn't working for me. So I had to change out how I do things. And sure, it's a change. It's a big change for me and my family, that I'm not slaving over the stove making these big meals anymore. I don't do it. I do maybe cook maybe once or twice a week, and I try to cook on the weekends for the week. So we have things that we can pull out of the fridge. We have things that we can pull out of the freezer when we're all busy, and we can eat off of that that food that I created on the Sunday or something. So you just have to rearrange your schedule and rearrange the way you're used to doing things. Because I can't do the things that, that I was doing, and just eating out constantly, and it's so nice, when our family gets together, that's the first thing they want to do, like, okay, so it's someone's birthday, so where do you want to go eat? Okay, it's someone's birthday, so, what big cake do we want to make or have, and, you have to change your whole mindset around, hey, look, we can get together and we could go play some golf, or we could get together and go walk the beach, and we can get together and, take a hike, and we can get together and do something that's movement, right? That doesn't require us to sit around the table and feed our face, right? There's more to us than sitting around the table and feeding our face, right? So most of Americans are over consuming, right? They're overeating because they're sitting with their families and they're talking and they're, sitting around, drinking and eating and just consuming all this food and not getting enough exercise and not doing some of the other things that really mean something to people, that, that you can sit and have a cup of tea and still converse the same way, right? Or a nice cup of coffee. And so there's just a whole different way of thinking about it, right? A whole different way of running your life. That's why I call it a lifestyle, because really you're taking yourself out of the situation and the style of life you were running, right? Fast forward 100 miles an hour and just eat whatever the crap you want. Just, go to whatever restaurant you want. No limitations, no meal portion, no nothing. Just eat whatever the hell is in front of you, right? I was doing that, until it almost ruined my health. And I had to say, hey, I have to cut it. I have to change the way I live. Not only change what I eat, but the way I live. I have to get up and move my ass. I have to get up and go for a walk, go for a hike. I have to call multiple different people like, hey, can you walk with me today? Hey, you want to walk? Hey, you want to go meet at the beach? You want to go and you want to meet up and you want to walk? Let's go, and find other ways, because I don't like walking in my area so much all by myself. There's dogs and there's, stuff. So I always like, either walk my own property, which we have 20 acres here, and we have trails that we walk, and that's no problem. But, when you're going somewhere different all the time, it's nice to have a partner. It's nice to have a walking partner, and it's nice to have someone to call and say, hey, you want to meet me and we'll go walk, and there's a lot of other people in your same situation, in your same area. So if you can somehow network with them or somehow get a hold of some other people and say, hey, let's just go for a nice stroll today. Let's go for a walk. Let's do something different, But it was all about changing your whole life pattern, I used to get up and just, get my shower and just get straight to work, sit at that sewing machine and sit on the internet and talk to people and, make sales and do this stuff on the internet and all this stuff. And that's fine. But now it's different. I get up and I think first about, what I'm going to put together for my breakfast, and be able to measure things and to be able to calculate things and to know what I'm going to be having beforehand, right? So I don't come in after a walk or after exercise and say, oh, I'm starving now and I'm just going to eat and mow down on whatever I can find, and just do that. You can't live like that. And, so I'm living proof of that you can't live like that, because I was on that road and I had to change so much about the way I think and the way my mindset is, and just different foods. I don't eat anything hardly the way that I used to eat it, right? Like having sometimes broccoli for breakfast or green beans for breakfast, I didn't used to have vegetables for breakfast. I would have probably, thought you were crazy. You were going to hand me a bowl of veggies for breakfast, or making a nice smoothie with high protein powder and a little bit of oatmeal and some veggies in there. And I didn't used to eat that way. That's all new to me, but it's good for me, right? And I would get up and like, oh, do we have any cake to eat, or do we have any donuts, or, I'm going to make a couple eggs and bacon, or I'm going to, make 2 or 3 pieces of toast and put some, slap on some peanut butter and some vanilla chocolate or whatever the heck, right? We were just eating out of whack, right? And we weren't getting the results that we need to get. We weren't getting the results for ourselves, for our own body. Our body wasn't showing it that we were healthy, wasn't showing up at the doctor's office that we were healthy. So then when you really think about it, you have to change. You don't have a choice but to change, But I can tell you this, change is so damn good. Change is really good. Change is good because you can see it in your body. It takes over and consumes you after a while. And sometimes you feel like a little fanatic about what am I going to eat and how many calories is that and how, but you're on track and your brain is always working, right? And that's a good thing. So, it just is a really great way to get motivated to change. But it all starts in your mind. You have to want it. You have to want it for yourself. You have to want good health. You have to want to live longer. You have to want the change. You have to want to feel better. You have to want to be thinner. You have to want to be more beautified when you get dressed up and all dolled up, that you look better than you did before. You have to want that. You have to be hungry for that, just like you're hungry for a donut or just like you're hungry for that big piece of chocolate cake. You have to feel it inside you that you hunger for the thinness of you. And there's that thin person that's inside all of us that wants to blossom and to shine forward. And if you keep stuffing down food on top of her, she's not going to be able to come out. She's just not going to have her word. She's not going to be able to come out and tell you what she thinks, right? And the more you start watching yourself lose the weight, that skinnier you, that thinner you starts coming out and blossoming, you get more motivated. The ball starts rolling like, wow, I like what I seen in the mirror today. I like what I seen when I took my clothes off today. I like that I'm getting firmed up. I like that I can fit into those skinny jeans. I like that I'm actually interested in putting on a bathing suit this year. You have to want it, If you don't have that urge to want that for yourself, then you don't have that urge, and you'll just continue on the path that you're on. And each year we gain weight. We just get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So if you don't want to change now, next year, you'll probably be another 30 pounds heavier next year. You have to want the change. You have to want it for yourself. And, pooey on all the people out there who I've contacted and talked to and doesn't want that for themselves because they don't want to take the time. They don't want to take the time to count calories. They don't want to take the time to meal prep. They don't want to take the time to cook for themselves or to shop for healthy food for themselves. They don't want it, And it's ridiculous for them to say that I don't have time. I'm probably one of the busiest people there is. I always have stuff going on. Between my 2 businesses and soon to be a third one with the bed and breakfast, I'm always on the go. I'm always on the run, and it is very busy around here for me. And so, but you know what? What I changed is I don't sit on the computer and chat with a bunch of people. I don't sit on there and not do my work. I don't sit on there just to see a cute little post pop up of a butterfly or of a cute little whatever, story or whatever. No, I don't do that. So that's one thing that I changed. I don't sit around and read or get involved in my email like I used to, worried about who's emailing me, what are they saying, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I don't do a lot of that. I get on there and I check for business. I check for what I need to read and get off. I don't sit on there waiting for a message from somebody or someone to reach out to me. I don't get on there and want to converse about who's doing what and what the craze is about watching other people, what they do, what they say, and all of that, like gossip stuff. That's not in me. I don't do that. I don't want to do that. And I don't really care. So I've saved a lot of time, and I don't spend my time with people who don't spend quality time with me. So, I don't really, I found some time back, right? I don't invest my time where I don't see fit anymore, like I used to, or let my day run past me, another day that you'll never get back. Let it run past me without getting something productive done in that day. So I'm all about production, and I love to get things accomplished. And, it may be all different for you. You might have a whole different story, and I'm sure you do. And maybe all this stuff and gossip and where you spend your time, where you could start cutting some of that off. Like if you go out drinking, cut it off. Stay at home and, find a really creative recipe that you can make and eat for the next 2 or 3 meals, right? Find something that's really interesting to you about wanting to get into weight loss, or find something that can help you to get going on a path, and that can help you to lose the weight, right? So if it's finding new recipes, or if it's listening to other podcast or whatever it may be. Maybe it's like our secret vault here of videos, get on there and find out a new way to do something like I show you, something like that. So anyway, I'm going to go for now, but I think you get the gist of what I'm trying to say. So I will talk to you guys real soon, and, want it for yourself, be hungry for it and want it for yourself. That's all I can say. If you don't want it for yourself, nobody around you will want it for you or care. Because if you don't care enough about yourself, nobody else is going to. So I'm sure you've been told that story before, and it's so darn true. So spend time with the people who you love and who reciprocate and love you back, and you'll be a lot better off. So talk to you all real soon. Bye-bye now.